Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Jonathan Lee, Associate Professor of Medicine at Harvard Medical School and the Director of the Harvard University Center for AIDS Research Clinical Core in Boston, Massachusetts. Today, we'll be discussing the implications of the BA.2 Omicron subvariant on anti-SARS-CoV-2 monoclonal antibody treatments. So what is the current status of COVID-19 cases? Luckily, right now, we're in a bit of a lull. U.S. cases are down more than 90% from the peak in January 2022. Omicron, though, has originally caused an exponential increase in cases, but now that increase has waned over time. But Omicron is not just one variant, but actually comprised of a number of different subvariants, one of which is BA.2. And the BA.2 subvariant is rising globally and now dominates cases in the US. That the CDC estimates that BA.2 now represents more than 70% of all of the cases in the US. Thus far, we have not seen a surge in the US, partly because of the high infection rate with BA.1 and cross immunity, but only time will tell. So in terms of differences between BA.1 and BA.2, you'll see that they share many of the mutations within the spike region, but that there are certain mutations that are present only in BA.1 and certain mutations that are present in BA.2 only. And it's these differences that has caused different susceptibilities to monoclonal antibody treatments. So what do we know about the BA.2 subvariant, and what could that mean for those who are immunosuppressed? So first of all, we know that immunocompromised individuals do have reduced immune responses to COVID vaccines. We also know that BA.2 appears to have a growth advantage over BA.1 and that it is more transmissible. A study from the UK has shown that it grows 80% faster than BA.1 in the community. However, luckily, thus far, infection with BA.1 does appear to largely provide protection against BA.2 infection. And so these are, I think, key characteristics that should inform how immunosuppressed individuals should consider BA.2, that it is a subvariant that is more transmissible and that should be one of concern. You'll see neutralizing antibody titers showing that after boosting on the far right, you do get significantly higher levels of antibody titers against both BA.1 and BA.2. Not as good as against wild type, but still fairly high and high levels that should be protective, at least in those who are immunocompetent. And of course, immunocompromised individuals may not have nearly as good of an immune response with vaccination. It is a concern about the effectiveness of vaccinations in immunosuppressed individuals that leads us now to talking about the combination of selgavimab and tixagevimab for prevention of SARS-CoV-2 infection. And this is a graph really showing the loss of efficacy of many of these monoclonal antibodies against the Omicron variant. Each of the circles represents a different experiment. And the further on the right the circle is, the less active the monoclonal antibody is against Omicron. And specifically here, the green circles represent BA.2. And what you can see is that if you look at the Evusheld line, that the green circles are less than 10, which means that they really have preserved activity against BA.2. However, not all monoclonal antibodies have been as lucky as Evusheld against BA.2. We know that sotrovimab is less effective. And because of that, on March 25th, the distribution of sotrovimab was paused in the Northeast, specifically in regions where BA.2, proportion of BA.2 is actually greater than 50%. And on March 30th, that pause was extended to additional Midwestern and Western states. Unfortunately, the latest report from the CDC shows that the BA.2 subvariant is now greater than 50% in all regions of the United States. And so as of April 5th, sotrovimab is no longer authorized anywhere in the US. So what about the efficacy of tixagevimab, selgavimab, or Evusheld for pre-exposure prophylaxis? So Evusheld received an EUA for pre-exposure prophylaxis in immunosuppressed individuals and was also approved in the EU as well. It has been shown in certain in vitro and in vivo studies to retain neutralizing activity against the Omicron variant and subvariants, including especially BA.2. There has been some concerns about BA.1 and 1.1 and the efficacy of an original dose, which was 300 milligrams total. And because of some of that concern, the FDA recommends that those who receive the original 300 milligram dosing receive an additional dose of Evusheld. And they have actually a couple different recommendations that if you received your original 300 milligram dose within the last 3 months, then you should receive another dose of 300 milligrams. However, if you received your 300 milligram dose more than 3 months ago, then you should receive a 600 milligram dose this time. And all new doses of Evusheld should receive the 600 milligram increased dose. Well, I want to thank everyone for joining me today. For more information on anti-SARS-CoV-2 monoclonal antibodies for pre-exposure prophylaxis, please visit the series landing page at exchangecme.com. And for the latest updates on COVID-19, subscribe to Exchange CME's YouTube channel and check back regularly. Thank you.